All right. Good morning. Let's come to order and go on the record, please. I'm Charlotte Mitchell, Chair of the Utilities Commission. With me this morning are the following commissioners: Commissioner Brown Bland, Commissioner Gray, Commissioner Clodfelter, Commissioner Duffley, Commissioner Hughes, and Commissioner McKissick. In compliance with State Government Ethics Act, I remind members of the commission of their duty to avoid conflicts of interest and inquire at this time as to whether any member of the commission has a known conflict with respect to matters coming before us this morning. Record will reflect that no conflicts have been identified, so we'll proceed with natural gas item P1.
Good morning. My name is Jordan Nader with the Public Staff's Energy Division. Item P1 is docket G5 sub 640, an application filed by the Public Service Company of North Carolina on February 15th, 2022, seeking authority to increase its integrity management tracker rates effective March 1st, 2022. The proposed IMT rate adjustments are shown in the table included in the public staff agenda item and proposed order. The public staff has reviewed the proposed rate adjustments and recommends approval as filed, and our proposed order is attached as exhibit number P1. Thank you.
Move approval of the recommendation.
Second.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. Are there questions or discussion on the motion? All right, hearing none, I'll go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor indicate with an eye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Nader. I believe that was your inaugural run.
It was.
So good job.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. All right, next up, public staff, natural gas item P2.
Good morning. My name is Neha Patel with Public Staff's Energy Division. And with me, I have Sonia Johnson. She's with the Public Staff's Accounting Division. Item P2 is docket G40, sub 164, an application filed by Frontier Natural Gas Company of North Carolina on February 15, 2022, seeking authority to increase its sales rate by $3.25 per decatherm effective March 1st, 2022. Frontier states that the increase is due to significant volatility in the first of the month pricing of natural gas, and further states that it is projected to materially undercollect its cost of gas if the current benchmark Citygate delivered cost of gas is not changed. Public staff has reviewed the application and recommends approval as filed. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Patel. Commission has a few questions for the public staff. We also have some questions for the company. So I believe I see representatives of the company in the audience. So in just a moment, I'll ask you all to come forward and introduce yourselves for the record. But first, for the public staff, in its deferred account report for December of last year, 2021, Frontier's deferred account ending balance was a debit balance of $781,000 plus owed to Frontier from customers, while the November 2021 account balance was also a debit balance, but in a lower amount of $405,000 and change. Was the public staff at all concerned about the substantial increase in the deferred account balance as the colder months were approaching?
So yes, back in December, for Frontier's annual review gas cost, we did request at the company when we saw the balances in October. This was around mid-December. So with deferred account balances, how it works is we get to see the balances 45 days after the month end. In December, we saw the balances change for October. And when we did request at the company responded by saying that it was monitoring the balances and looking at the gas prices. It would come in and make benchmark change if needed, since it didn't want to subject the customers to rate changes, tariff changes. Back in, again, in January, we saw the balances for November. The day we filed our testimony for Frontier's annual review, it was the very next day that we saw balances for November's. deferred account. And immediately we got on a call with the company wanting to know why the company did not think of making any changes to the benchmark. But again, it was after a 45-month lag that we saw the balances.
Okay, that's helpful testament. I mean, I appreciate that explanation. What was the company's response when you all asked them a question about why they hadn't come in sooner to adjust the gas cost?
The company mentioned that they were monitoring the balances and did not want to
Okay.
make changes to their.
Okay. So you only very recently saw, I assume, help me, just make sure I understand this correctly. You only very recently saw the account balance for the month of December 2021, is that right?
Yes. ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Did the public staff discuss with the company the possibility of taking a gradual approach here, like a phased in increase, just to avoid the possibility of rate shock?
Yes, we did. Just bear with me. We did, and looking at the deferred account balances, if the company were to make a change, anything less than $7.50, the deferred account balances would not get to a reasonable level until mid-2023. So with what is with the projected balances, the most reasonable benchmark gas cost that the company thinks or has calculated is that $8.50.
Okay, thank you. Two more questions for you, Ms. Patel, and I appreciate your responses so far. Does the public staff have an understanding of what the bill impact is likely to be of this change were it to be approved? For an average residential customer, let me be clear.
I have not gone into detail into the calculation, but it looks like it may go up close to about $13.
$13 a month on the average residential customer bill. Okay. Can you talk to me some, and Ms. Patel, I'm going to ask you this question, but obviously either of you all may answer it. The Frontier's hedging program, just help me understand why the hedging program wouldn't have managed or maybe better managed the volatility here.
I would not be the expert on hedging.
Okay.
I am by no means an expert on hedging, but I am no expert on hedging,
Mhm.
but I do know that their program did work and it did reduce the volatility. So the program that's in place, it did work, but as you know, the gas prices have taken a hit as of late. It has increased dramatically due to world events. Nothing that Frontier or anyone could do about that. But the program that's in place, it did work. It's just the circumstances that are in place. What they're asking for or how they acted was in no way imprudent. Their program worked. They followed it to a T. We monitored that on a monthly basis. So they did nothing imprudent.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me check in with my colleagues to see if there are questions for the public staff before we call the company up. Commissioner Hughes.
I know it was an estimate, but the $13 on an average bill, is that based on considering that winter bills are many times higher than, that's based on an average, say, December bill. That's not based on just an average annual bill.
It's an average annual bill.
Okay, so it could be much higher for the winter months.
This is taking into account the winter and the summer months, the volumes used annually.
Okay, but our decision, okay. Thank you.
Commissioner McKissick.
And I guess my question goes to this, looking at the deficit that was increasing, and likewise understanding the volatility in the price of gas, is there a certain ratio that you would traditionally look to determine that this is a good opportunity or the best opportunity to go in and for the company to ask for an adjustment now rather than later to avoid the rate shock issue? I mean, is there a ratio, or what is it that determination is based upon?
There is no set ratio that we use to determine, a flashpoint that, hey, you guys need to come in.
And I guess the follow-up would be, was it anticipated that the prices would spike as they have spiked? I mean, were there market conditions that would have perhaps indicated that we, would be encountering this type of situation at this time?
Oh, there's no way to know that at any given time. That's the nature of the market. It's up one day, down the next.
Sure. Very good. Thank you.
All right, any additional questions for the public staff? All right, if company would proceed to the microphone. Ms. Patel, I may ask you to stay up here just in case we have a few more questions for you, but company can come on up. Yes, you may step down and.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kristen Athens from McGuire Woods, appearing on behalf of Frontier Natural Gas. And with me today, I have Mr. Fred Steele, who is the president and manager of the company.
All right, good morning, Ms. Athens and Mr. Seal. Commission has just a few questions for you all as well, for the company as well. Can you help us understand why the company didn't come in sooner to apply for the adjustment to the cost of gas?
We look at we do a forecast every month. Our hedging program, as Ms. Johnson said, we followed it diligently this year. We hedge roughly 60% of our gas from April through September. Then we use the balance of it to cover our peak day, first of the month pricing. So we followed that diligently. We look at the forecast. When we were looking at the forecast as an example we look at the NYMEX plus the adders we have to have. We looked at it on 12/7. It was looking like 375. What we found is we've seen some anomalies beginning in December, which is the first time we've seen this. So we've not seen this type of an anomaly where during the bid week, where the first of the month price is set, the prices have went up significantly during that week. And that's why we've actually, when we were looking throughout the month, we didn't see that. So we thought December was an anomaly. We thought we weren't going to experience it again. So we did the same thing. We saw it again in January. And then when we saw it once again, when we do our forecast, we felt like we could actually leave our rates where they were, probably not have to come in at all. But with this increase that we're asking for, it is really only a short term. With the period of time we're looking at, we believe we can bring our balance back by the end of June to almost a zero balance with this increase.
Okay, so you actually anticipated one of my questions, so thank you. But so I'm hearing you say that June you should be back to a reasonable,
We should.
maybe even a neutral balance in
Maybe even before that, again, saying all things remain constant in the marketplace. The
Well,
marketplace is
understood.
very volatile right now. So we're basing this, on historical, and when we look at this, we use our historical volumes, rates, we look at all of those, and we put a forecast together, which that's what we've utilized. And again, we utilize that, to come up with our peak day, which we use an outside firm to help us with that as well. And then we base our hedging and our first of the month pricing on that to
Okay.
cover our peak day.
Okay, so in June, assuming that
Mhm.
there's nothing strange going on in the market,
Right.
you would come back in and ask for an adjustment
A decrease, a
Right.
decrement, yes.
back to the $3 range, or
I
what?
think it's, again, it depends on what the marketplace with
Mhm.
NYMEX and what happens in the marketplace. But right now, based on the prices we're looking at, we would say we could get back down to close to where we are currently.
Okay, and I'm sorry, where you are currently is $5, five and a half.
525.
Yeah,
it is, yes.
okay. Okay. You heard Ms. Patel say the public staff estimates the bill impact would be about $13. I think you heard Commissioner Hughes's question as
Yes.
to whether that really would be the case for these bills that reflect the winter heating months. Help us understand what the bill impact's going to be.
Well, I think staffs, they've analyzed it, we have as well, and I think that's true if it's on an annualized basis, but I think it's a short term. Once again, we're looking at that impact being over the next 4 months. And after that, we envision going back to the rates that we're at. So it is an impact, but it's over a short period of time.
So we could see higher than $13 for the next few months.
No, I think it will be right at the 13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're pretty close. We didn't come to the same number, but we're very close.
Okay. And you're looking at an annualized 13. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me check in with colleagues to see if there are questions for the company. Commissioner Hughes.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor the point, but if I open my Frontier bill and I was the average customer, will I see $13 or will I have to get all of my 12 bills lined up, calculate them all up and divide it? Will I see something like a $40 or $50 increase?
You're going
when
to
I
see a
open up?
$13 increase, Commissioner Hughes, for the next 4 months.
Oh, okay. So if it was summer, I would see hardly any increase.
Again, if this works like we think it should, based on the forecast we have, we should, by the end of June, we should be able to drop our rates back.
All right, Commissioner McKissick.
Thank you for your remarks. I'm just curious as to whether, based upon what has occurred under these circumstances, you would change your hedging at all to perhaps, better contain and control these type of volatility and cost.
Well, I think it's something we should need to consider. Certainly, we've looked at possibly hedging more during the April through September. That's something that's on the table right now to discuss with staff going forward. So the answer is yes, we're looking at that currently.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And one last question, just following up on Commissioner McKissick's. You indicated that the company hedges 60% of gas volume. Did I hear that correctly?
We hedge 60% of our maximum peak day is what we hedge.
Okay.
And then the balance of it goes to first of the month. So we effectively have it all hedged, and then we sell back anything that we don't use.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any additional questions?
I move this agenda item be taken to executive conference.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that this item be taken into executive conference. Any questions or discussion? All right. All in favor indicate with an eye. Is there anyone opposed? All right. We will consider the item in executive session. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. We will proceed now to public staff communications item P1.
Good morning. My name is Karen Profit of the Public Staff Water, Sewer, and Telephone Division, and I'd like to say it's great to see you all here. Item P1 presents interconnection agreement amendments filed by AT&T North Carolina for commission approval between December 22nd, 2021 and January 28th, 2022. Public staff has reviewed the filings and recommends that orders be issued approving the amendments effective on the date they were filed. The public staff has provided proposed orders to the commission staff.
Move approval of the recommendation.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that the item be approved as recommended by the public staff. Any questions or discussion? All in favor indicate with an eye. Is there anyone opposed? All right. Motion carries. Thank you very much, Ms. Profit. All right. Commission has before us for approval our minutes from the February 21st staff conference.
Move approval of the minute.
Any questions or discussion on the minutes? All right, all in favor indicate with an eye. Is there anyone opposed? All right, those minutes are approved. All right, before we adjourn, just checking in to see if there's any additional business for the commission this morning. Hearing none, we will be adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's go off the record, please.